let's jump in. Uh, well, let's take a moment to get into the meditation state so we can prepare our minds, so we can absorb as much as possible in a very practical way what seems to be a very sort of subtle and abstruse topic. It sounds wonderful when you hear it, but when you want to put it into application, and that's when we sort of run into trouble. How do we actually put this what sounds wonderful thing into application, and how does it actually uh, help us when we are in the midst of what we might call samsaric experience, when we have whatever comes up, where doesn't quite seem to be in line with what this beautiful thing is saying. Everything is love, everything is light, everything is bliss. What the heck are you talking about? All right, we're going to try to see what are they talking about, okay? So that we can actually begin to apply it in a way that's begin to apply it, at least the understanding of it. Right, so we're going to do a meditation of mainly just letting go and allowing, a meditation where all we hold is a curiosity as to what is present. And as we hold on to this attitude, to this curiosity, we have an attitude of not grasping, wishing for a different experience than what is present, not rejecting, but just being present with whatever is and having the curiosity, almost the curiosity that keeps asking, okay, what's underneath this? Without an expectation that there necessarily is something under it, but also being open to if there is something under it. And it could be something so subtle that it's a slight shift of maybe 0.01% shift, but be sensitive enough in your curiosity that you're able to notice, there is this 0.1% shift, and I've noticed it. All right, so with that sort of intention in mind, holding that curiosity as your intention, allow this intention to be absorbed by your body. So have a felt sense of this intention in your body. Notice the natural intelligence in the body wishing to cooperate. And how do you sense it's wishing to cooperate? You begin to have impulses to make adjustments. You're seeking comfort. You're seeking stability. Almost in an impulsive way, understand that this is that natural intelligence in the body itself cooperating, responding to your intention. So after you've established a posture that you feel confident in its stability and its comfort, simply rest in that posture. And as you are palpably aware of the comfort in the body, scan the body, making direct contact in your awareness with the comfort in your legs, the stability in your legs, noticing them. That's what you wanted to encounter. Now you're encountering them. Rejoice. Now go and encounter them in a direct way through the torso. upright, comfortable, giving you a sense of alertness and attentiveness. Rejoice, relax, allow, let go. Let go of any need to hold the body consciously. Trust the body to hold itself and enjoy the comfort and stability. Now make contact with the comfort and stability in the arms. Perhaps the intelligence in the body is telling you there's a slight tension in your shoulders. Let go. So pay attention. Let go. Just have the intention to let go. You may not know exactly how to let go, but just hold on to the intention to let go sincerely. And when you notice any sense of releasing of tension, rejoice, celebrate. You're witnessing the fulfillment of your intention. It is not something that we encounter too often in life. Celebrate it when we encounter it. Now make contact with the calm and the pleasantness, the stability and comfort in the head and neck that are centered. Centered meaning there's no conscious effort in holding them in place. And notice, perhaps those of you who are somewhat sensitive to energy, your energy, notice the energetic response that is taking place. A calming, a pleasantness that you feel energetically. Notice it, rejoice. Make contact with a calming and pleasantness in the natural placement of the mouth, teeth, and tongue. Upon making direct contact, celebrate, rejoice. Feel the same in the muscles of the face and forehead, in the soft resting of the eyes. As you notice them, as you make contact, rejoice, celebrate. Now there's an overall sense throughout the body, perhaps mixed with the mind, perhaps mixed energetically or with the breath, a contact with a sense of calm, an overall sense of pleasantness that permeates body, energy, and mind. Breathing, welcome them, rejoice, stay in them. And let us make the commitment to fully enter, to sort of make some sort of gesture that embodies our commitment to enter this space characterized by ever deepening calm and ever deepening clarity, ever deepening luminosity, focus. Holding on to the intention and the determination. The gesture we make is taking a deep breath. So hold on to all these things or one of them and breathe in gently, fully through the nose. If you want to, hold for a second or two. And then when you're ready, through the mouth, just release. And as you release, let go, let go, let go, let yourself go, let yourself go. Understand the letting go in the body, letting go in the breath, letting go in the mind. Keep letting go. Allowing the breath to return to its own rhythm, but stay with that momentum of letting go, letting go. Feel it energetically, feel it biologically, feel it in the body, feel it in the breathing, feel it in the mind. Stay with it, stay connected to it, stay aware of it, and keep letting go, keep letting go, keep letting go. Stay in that momentum. And notice some measure of enhancement in the body, palpably present, in the breathing, palpably present, also to some measure in the mind, in some palpable way, a deeper sense of that calm, a deeper sense of that pleasantness, a deeper sense of some sense of clearing, a sense of vividness becoming ever more vivid, a clarity becoming ever more clear, and the mind collecting itself ever more, ever more. So noticing that, noticing them, just rejoice. And within that space, noticing the measure of some measure of enhancement in the signs, whether they're stronger in the body or the breath or energetically or in the mind, wherever they are, in whatever combination, stay with them. Hold that curiosity to go deeper into the signs. They may go deeper, they may stay as they are. So however they present themselves, be open to accept them as they are. A curiosity to know, what is this experience? And that within us that will permit us to be able to discover that, our potential to encounter that, have, have a sense of its presence in the space in front of you at the level of your eyebrows, and hold it in high reverence, trust, and gratitude. After we've consciously made that deliberate, positive way of relating with that potential, let us stabilize the state itself, the meditation itself, the space with three-fold breath. Again, find one of the signs that is prominent for you, that you feel that is strongest, that you feel a sense of connection with. Stay with it without grasping it, without rejecting other things. And as you stay with it, then to the threefold breath, gently, fully through the nose, breathe in, stay with it, staying with it, drop deeper into it as you breathe out through the mouth. Notice the measure of enhancement. Rejoice. Stay at that depth. Have the wish to go even deeper. Staying at that depth, again, gently through the nose. Breathe in fully. Staying connected. and with the intention to drop deeper, not forcing it, and then let go. Stay with whatever came up. Staying there for the third and last time through the nose, gently, fully breathe in. And through the mouth, again. Again, bring that curiosity, bring it back, make it fresh again. Holding a mind that is open. Perhaps this is all there is, and you're open to know. And perhaps this is not all there is. There might be something else, and you're open to it. You're not grasping to one, nor are you rejecting the other. You're simply open and deeply curious. And with each out breath, let yourself go deeper and be curious about what you have just encountered. The sound becoming louder, perhaps. The sensation that you may feel in the body having become stronger, perhaps. Maybe a new sensation, a new experience just suddenly arose, and you know it's connected to the subtlety of the awareness that you're abiding in. Welcome it, be with it, and be curious. Perhaps this is all there is. Perhaps there is more, and you're open to both. And perhaps that intelligence in the body may give you some impulse. Perhaps you should relax your hips, relax your shoulders, relax this part. Perhaps that will open up for you to have a deeper experience of what is going on. And for the next minute or two, noticing the breath. As you breathe in, just have the intention, just tell yourself, abiding, whatever it is present. Tell yourself, I'm abiding. You could say the words in your mind if you wish, or you could just have a sense of, I'm abiding, being aware of that as you breathe in. And what is it that you're abiding in? And as you naturally breathe out, going deeper, going deeper. And what is it that is what you're going deeper into? What is happening that gives the sense that I'm going deeper? And keep doing that. Now, abiding. What are you abiding in? What is present that you're abiding in? Now I'm going deeper. For the next 2 minutes, just do that. And in whatever way you wish to have a palpable sense of going deeper, energetically, physically, mentally, in the breath, and let that naturally be expressed. In this very space that is somewhat unfabricated, somewhat, where is, where are your problems, your troubles? Be ready to arise from the meditation. Have a sense of readiness to understand, to apply what you come to understand. Be aware of the space of the meditation itself, the signs that meditation is present. Notice them, rejoice, and feeling ready, take a nice deep breath that you feel and hear through the nose. Breathe in, feel it, hear it. Through the mouth, breathe out. And deliberately, consciously reconnect with your immediate surroundings. How do you do that? With your senses, sense of touch. What does it sense? What's the temperature? What's the feel of the clothing, the feel of your seat? What are you hearing? Close things, far things. And what are you seeing? Colors, shapes, lights, shadows. Okay. All right. Sorry, I wasn't intending to make it this long, the meditation, but I wanted you to have a taste of what's possible in this kind of meditation if you were able to do it for, I would say, at least 45 minutes. 45 minutes, just doing that. It could be for the first 43 minutes, nothing seems to be happening. And then somewhere towards the end, you start to notice things appearing. All right. And they don't have to be extraordinary things like, you're being visited by some angel, by some enlightened beings or anything like that. It could just be all of a sudden there are these vivid experiences. It could be energetically, it could be visions, but there is a sense of being present, that you're observing, that you're witnessing these experiences. And some of them may feel maybe completely ordinary, nothing special about them. And yet there's a sense of something is happening. Okay. And whatever is happening, you continue to apply curiosity. Is this all? This maybe this maybe that's all there is to it. And you're open to that. Maybe there's more and you're open to that also. And then what else happens? Okay. And this is basically a kind of meditation uh, where you say uh, you're preparing your mind to really be able to see and experience what is really there. And you will discover and be honest with what you're discovering. Do not be attached to what you're discovering, making absolute conclusion. This is what it is. And don't be dismissive with any experience. Say, oh, this has no meaning whatsoever. Okay. But keeping that openness. Okay. Uh, if we're able to do this meditation for about 45 minutes, then uh, I would say you will definitely have some certain experiences that shows you there are deeper experiences to be had in just the present, whatever is presently happening. Even if it seems to be coming from the outside, you still have, okay, this is what's happening right here, right now. Okay. And then be with it. What are the possibilities? Okay. All right. Now we're back to, I think, the last uh, talk we had. I think probably we went deep into more the philosophical aspect of the topic. Unfortunately, it does have this philosophical aspect to it. But that's only, what this philosophical aspect, or what is presented as the philosophical aspect, is really our mind making a demonstration. I really don't know what I'm talking about. And what is it that I really don't know what I'm talking about? I really don't know what is actually happening here. What is actually, that's what's going on. And I really don't know what's happening here. And then to make a sense of trying to understand it, we go into these deep philosophical things. Okay. Uh, and sometimes going into these deep philosophical things, and I know I am guilty of that. It's a nice way to it's a nice way to have a sense that you're dealing with something when you're not really dealing with it. You're really escaping. You're really not dealing with what's going on. And why do we have to go to what is going on? Because that's what initially pushed us to go find something. And perhaps it could be we have become discouraged. I don't think I ever find what I'm looking for, and it's very important for me to find it. I don't want to be discouraged. I'm just going to go into this trip that makes me feel that I've somehow found something meaningful. Okay, you don't want to be stuck in that. Yes, that is a necessary part of the journey, but you don't want to get stuck in that. Just like perhaps thinking, meditating. Somehow you have a sense of, ah, the fundamental nature of things is bliss. And it sounds good. And it seems to resonate with some part of you that seems to gravitate towards it as a kind of an absolute truth. But when we are unable to make this coming into alignment with our lived experiences, and they don't seem to be matched. They don't seem to be coming together. They don't seem to be coming in alignment. They don't seem to be explaining to each other. Then the idea, the sense that everything is fundamentally bliss, become just an abstract. It's not something that actually serves the reality that you're actually experiencing. So there's the reason why these very abstract, what sound like very abstract ideas that are presented, or everything is empty. You have no self. The fundamental nature of reality is bliss. The very reason that these things are presented is because is they are arrived at by seeking to understand what is happening in our everyday lives. We uh, we have vocabulary. We have an inner vocabulary, an inner vocabulary. I mean, that we have an inner sense of what these terms mean. But somehow we lose connection with what these terms mean, and we go into some sort of a fantasy as to what these terms are supposed to be. When you hear these words, fundamental, what is your gut feeling about what that means? That's what it's referring to. When we find ourselves incapable of explaining it to ourselves, that is because we've lost connection with that gut understanding what that term is supposed to mean. Say fundamental, and then bliss. What else? Relative, ultimate. These are the terms that we have when we lose contact, when we lose connection with what these terms actually mean to us at the gut level. Then that's when we go into the abstract, and these become no longer means to address the very thing that we are dealing with in life. They become just escapes from reality. They become escapes from life rather than means of dealing with life in a way that is palpable and direct. We understand relative. We all know what relative means. We all know what it means when we say ultimately. We all have an understanding of that. I don't need Mr. Webster to tell me that, to explain it to me. Okay? I don't need Mr. Webster to explain to me what is fundamental. When I say fundamentally, when you say bliss, we all have a sense of that. It's when we leave that space. We lose space we lose connection with that fundamental gut feeling, and we are now in some sort of fantasized way of understanding it. Then we're writing volumes about what bliss is supposed to be, and we have not really explained what bliss is supposed to be. Okay, so what is our actual experience? What is actually taking place? I'm not talking about, and again, when I say actually taking place, I'm talking about what is your experience right here, right now, moving in through time and space. I'm not talking about some experience that you're not having that's supposed to fit the definition of actual. That's not what we're referring to. Okay. If your knees are hurting right now because whatever reason, that's your actual experience. If you're bored with what I'm saying, that is your actual experience. Okay. I'm not talking about, okay, now go find Mr. Webster. What does he say? What does he say is actual? That's not, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what is your experience right here, right now. Okay. So generally speaking, what is our actual experience of life? And we notice that there might be a theme running through it, or there might be themes running through it, and there are experiences, actual lived experiences. And one category of experiences that we have, and, and from now on, I'm going to use my own definition of suffering. There are experiences that while we are having them, in the midst of having them, simultaneously, there's a wish, a wanting of not, of I wish of not wanting it to happen, not wanting it to be happening, whatever it may be. Okay, I'm not qualifying it, having gradations or anything. Whatever is going on. Okay. Oh, my nail is not the right color. I don't like it. That's suffering. Okay. All right. It doesn't have to be some specific thing. It doesn't have to be some abstract. You don't have to believe in the hells. Do they actually exist or they don't exist for you to understand suffering? Are you having experiences? Do you have experiences that as you are having it, simultaneously in having experience, there's a wish of not wanting this experience to continue. Okay, that's what is suffering. Okay, and that has different degrees. Okay, and for some of us, and the degrees are, well, I can live with my nails not being the color I want. It's not that much of a suffering for me. And there are other experiences where it's not like just your nail not being the color you want. For you, something that is you could say more intense. Okay, when you hear now this actual experience and suffering, and we're talking about in the midst of suffering, in the midst of having an experience, and sometimes it's not necessarily what is actually happening right now. It could be just the general sense of, oh, my life sucks kind of thing, kind of attitude. Okay, at that moment you're saying it. At that moment, that's real. That's for you. My life sucks. Okay, maybe the next moment, you say, oh, I have the greatest life. I have the greatest life ever. Okay, but at the moment when you say my life sucks, that's what we're referring to. In the midst of that, how do we understand these so-called lofty teachings that seem to have some sort of truth to them, that seems to have some sort of provide some sort of soothing, some sort of refuge? Okay, and when in these experiences, do these teachings actually, are they applicable? Are they there only to make us feel good when we feel good already? If everything is going well and you hear the fundamental nature of reality is bliss, oh, that's cute, and just going with your life. But if you're undergoing some intense suffering, you've lost someone, you lost something that was dear to you, and I'm telling you the fundamental nature of your experience is bliss, you're not going to say, oh, that's nice. You're going to say, what has this got to do with my experience right here, right now? Then it makes some sense. Then there's a wanting to investigate that. Now, I'm going to ask this question. What is it supposed to do? What is it supposed to do? There's this awful thing happening in my life. And of course, when something awful is happening in your life, there's this wish to address it There's this wish to make adjustments so that it's not awful anymore. Okay. And here is relative and ultimate coming into play right here, somewhat coming into play. Right? There's a wish to address what's going on. Of course, you don't want it to be that uh, like the way you hear the fundamental nature of reality is bliss while you're having a good time. Say, oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, pass the popcorn, please. Okay. Um, when you hear the fundamental nature of your experience, that experience where I don't want to have it anymore. When you hear the fundamental nature of it is bliss, of course, your reaction towards it is, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? And we will come up with all kinds of things. Does that mean that there's something wrong with me? I'm not supposed to be having this suffering. I'm supposed to be having bliss right here, right now. Instead, there's something wrong with me because the fundamental nature of reality is bliss. And yeah, that's not what I'm experiencing. So if I want to accept this, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to do with it? How are you supposed to help me with at least deal with what's going on right here, right now? Okay. And that's where the intention to put it into practice or the wish to put it into practice come into being. Okay. When we find that I don't see how it, I don't see because as far as I'm concerned, if it's supposed to be bliss, I'm not supposed to be having the suffering. So it's wrong. It's wrong to say that. Or or somehow if I come to understand that what this really means, that the fundamental nature of what's going on right here, right now is bliss, somehow by understanding it, the problem will go away. The person I lost will suddenly come back. The thing I lost will suddenly come back. Or, and this is the direction that probably some of you sense, even though we sense it, I don't think this is the right way to understand it. But if this could be the right way to understand it, I'm afraid of it. I will arrive at an experience where I don't care. The fundamental nature of his thing is bliss. I don't care I lost that person. And nobody wants to go, nobody wants to arrive there. Well, some people out of desperation, because the pain of having lost is so big that they're willing to compromise. Okay, I'll take even I don't care because this pain is too much for me. Okay, and what do? They try to make that nice phrase, the fundamental nature of reality is bliss, to mean to arrive at I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. Doesn't matter to me that I lost this and that person. It doesn't matter that the person, doesn't matter that my best friend is in the hospital. Oh, it doesn't matter that I'm sick. And there are sometimes it seems to be an attractive thing to arrive at because sometimes the pain is so much that seems to be an attractive experience to have because we want so much to the pain is so much we want to be as we want to create so much as much of a distance as we can from that experience. We interpret that to be that way. Now, when it is something so so intimate, like especially in relationship to the love connection of another, and there is some pain in relationship to that, we don't really want to arrive at fundamental nature of reality of being bliss means I arrive at a point where it doesn't matter anymore. I don't care. Right? And either we are back to square one where we're trying to, what does it really mean? or we just throw it away. Say, all this is BS. All this is BS. Okay. So that's what we don't want to get to. We don't want to get to say it's all BS, because there seems to be a promise in that. The fundamental nature of your experience is bliss. There seems to be a promise in it that we feel attracted to. We would love to really come to understand. And we don't want to end up with, oh, it's really, I'm the one there's something wrong with me. My partner having left me is really a blissful thing. There's something wrong with me for somehow experiencing this as not blissful. Okay, that would be absolutely nonsense. And sometimes we might even want to, we would like that to be the meaning of it. And we definitely don't want to go in the direction where, oh, my partner left me. Nothing wrong with that. Or I lost my friend I lost my friend for whatever reason. They moved away, or we lost contact, or they're going through some intense experience, and I'm concerned for them. No, I don't have that concern anymore. I'm not suffering because they're suffering anymore. Okay, because I understand it. The fundamental nature of reality is bliss. That's what. Now I'm free. I don't longer care about things, and now I'm free of my defect. Now, no, stab me, oh, I'm bliss. Stab my mother, oh, that's bliss. Okay? Definitely, that's not what, none of these things. That's not what it means. Okay, so let's now, when I'm talking about relative and ultimate, and what is the meaning? What does it mean fundamental? What does it mean bliss? Let's go to that gut feeling. Okay, but that's what responded favorably when we first hear the fundamental nature of reality is bliss. It's that gut feeling, that innate sort of wisdom, that sort of had a sense of understanding it, a sense of remembering something. That's what responded. That's what felt that, oh, this is good. Okay, so let's go to it. Why did talking to that part of you, that so-called wisdom part of you, that felt there was something nice there, you have to have a conversation with, what's wrong with you? Why did you think that there's something attractive in that? Why did you what wasn't just the same as Kim Kardashian, is wearing new shoes today? Why isn't it wasn't just as having the same level of meaning as the hearing that? Why did hearing that somehow stuck with you? Okay. What were you feeling you were contacting that made that something worth holding on to and investigating? It's because of this innate fundamental. Before we go to fundamental, this innate gut feeling of understanding. What does it mean to be fundamental? Okay. And what does it mean? What does bliss mean? Okay. And remember, this talk is not so much into the philosophical, right? So we're not going to go too much into that. Okay. So we're going to do gut. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what fundamental is supposed to be. I want you to say it, and simultaneously, as you're saying it, before you finish it, what comes up? What feeling comes up? What is it? What comes up in your body even? And saying it, what comes up in your body is not just something I made up. It's not some new age thing. It's actually when in the sutras, when the Buddha is talking about having an actual experience, it says it is felt in the body. Until it is felt in the body, there is no real experience per se. You're getting close to it. Your understanding is deeper. But until there is a body response to it, then it is not yet a realization. Okay, it's not yet a knowing. So the phrase that the Buddha says, many sutras, not just one sutra, he or she knows in their body. And that's the sign that, yes, there's realization. Okay. When you know in your body, that's a glass of water then you know a glass of water. When you don't know it in your body, that's a glass of water, but you say it as a glass of water, you don't know a glass of water. Okay. So that's messing up a sutra. Okay. That's not exactly how it was said, but I'm messing it up. I'm telling you. So just in case, don't go look for the sutra where they say like that. Okay. Um, so in your gut feeling right now, without any almost the the we might call the pre-conceptualization that take place in language. Okay. Fundamental. Okay. Try one more time and have the wish to connect with the meaning of it. Okay. Fundamental. And one last time. Fundamental. Okay. Now, don't waste your time putting it into words, the feeling that just came up. Okay. Just stay with that feeling. And of course, because of habit, you might want to, put some clothe it with some words, with some a few sentences. You don't have to do that. Okay. If the sentences that you put on it doesn't make you lose connection as to what it means, what's that feeling, then it's okay. But if you're losing it, then let go of the words. Go back to just the feeling. Fundamental. So nature, nature, nature. Okay. I'm not talking about nature in terms of you go into the woods, then you encounter nature. Okay. Reality. Reality. No, reality. You almost had it. You dropped it. Come on. Connect. Get ready. Get ready. Okay. Get ready. Reality. That's it. Stop. You don't go too far. You are going too far. Okay. That was it. That sense. Okay. Nature of reality. Nature of reality is fundamentally bliss. Is fundamentally bliss. Sorry, I'm making you your own scholar. I'm making you your own teacher at this moment right here, right now. Your own refuge. Go to your gut feeling. Nature of reality is fundamentally bliss. Okay. Now let's go into some lies. We live in the gut world behind Of course, when you leave the gut world behind, you enter into the realm of lies. You have to be very careful here. Okay. Fundamentally, the nature of reality is bliss. Okay. Reality, what I'm experiencing right here, right now, because I'm sitting cross legged, my knees are hurting. That's reality. The nature of it, the nature of it, the way of being of it, what actually is holding the experience of pain in my knees to be the experience that I have pain in my knees, the nature of that. Fundamentally, fundamentally, it is bliss. Oh, I lost connection. I was just about to get to something, and then all of a sudden my mind went, wait a minute, why am I not experiencing bliss right now? Did I misunderstand it? Did I lose connection with that gut feeling? Reality, what's reality? What's happening right here, right now? Yeah, my ankles and knees are uncomfortable because I'm sitting cross-legged. The nature of that, the nature of that which a way of sort of explaining the experience, a way of sort of explaining the experience. Fundamentally, 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 it is bliss. I almost got it, almost had it, almost had it. It's that word bliss that keeps throwing me off. I keep following it. Yeah, okay, that's reality. The discomfort in my knees, in my ankles. Yeah, I'm following the nature of that. Okay, yeah. So it's what's actually there. It's what holding. It's what perpetuating. It's I'm getting an explanation, and fundamentally at the root of it, at the very bottom of it, at the root, the core of it, and then bliss. And it's because my understanding of bliss is messed up. That's what it is. That's what I have to that's it. My understanding of bliss is messed up. Okay, guy, who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this? The fundamentally blissful thing. You have to explain to me, what is this bliss that you're talking about? Let's go to the meditation. Not that you're going to meditate now, but let's go to the meditation that we were having a moment ago. What was slowly coming up more and more, more and more in your experience as you were doing absolutely nothing? You were just curious about what was going on. You were not creating the experience and you were not rejecting experiences. What was slowly building up as an experience? What was slowly building up was, you could say, if I stayed on this course longer, I would eventually arrive at something. When you eventually arrive, whatever it is that you would have eventually arrived at, that would have been, it seems like, a kind of peace. It seems like it would have been, uh, it would have the feeling tone that I associate with what I call bliss. And the bliss here would be, not necessarily the presence of something, but more the absence of something else. And what was absent as you were meditating? What was absent? What was not there? The things that we are worried about, the things that we're worried about all day, the worry about them, the things themselves, they were not there. And the absence of those things has a feeling tone to it. And the feeling tone to them is what we associate with bliss. So in the meditation, if you continue, and what seems to be making yourself more and more present is the sense of peace, and eventually a sense of what, okay, I will not be afraid to say it, a kind of bliss. Okay, because that's what we would eventually arrive at the very bottom of of experience of awareness. We say fundamentally, that's what it is. So with the mind, sometimes the mind is very agitated. Sometimes we experience the mind as being very painful. But when we leave the mind alone, what slowly comes up is not more pain. What slowly comes up is not agitation. That sort of tells you that fundamentally, the mind, when you leave it alone, it's bliss. Okay. Now that sounds nice when you just stay in the level of mind, because you can flip flop with the mind without without worrying too much. But actual experiences of suffering, of loss, how are we supposed to deal with that? Okay, now we have to start lying. You have to start making things up. Okay, for some of us, these lies work. For some of us, these lies don't work. So what are we supposed to listen to? Listen to the listen to what the lie is helping accomplish. Okay, what is it? And by lie, I mean ultimately. The way we understand ultimately, that's not exactly what it is. But relatively speaking, it helps. Okay, so I'm going to throw some stuff. My reaction to the discomfort that I'm experiencing in my ankles and my knees right now is sort of prompting me to do something about it, stretch my legs, or somehow find a way in the very experience where the sensation doesn't uh, doesn't bother me the way it may be bothering me. So this is saying uh, possibility, a possibility of different experiences. A possibility is presented. Okay. And by possibility, it doesn't mean that I have to stay with my legs as they are forever. This may not be too big of an example to catch you. Uh, the the experience that I'm having, where I'm experiencing distance, or I'm experiencing loss, and this loss and this distance is creating a pain, a suffering for me. Just like my knees right now, I'm not stuck to this position. It's not like my knees, my legs are glued to this position forever. There's something I can do to change my posture so that I don't have uh, this experience of the discomfort. What makes it possible for me to do something with my knees, with my legs, so that my experience is not discomfort? Because fundamentally, the experience of knees is not discomfort and pain. There's an openness that is fundamental to the nature of my knees that makes it possible for me to engage it in a way where the experience of it is not pain. The distance, the loss, there's something about it, an openness that makes it possible for me to either, if if removing the distance is what I feel is what I've come to conclude that is what I need, there's something I can do to this distance appearing in such a way that is creating pain, that I can interact with this distance so that it's no longer appearing as it is as a painful thing. There's something about the loss. It's not that you're making the loss no longer a loss. It's not that you're making your knees no longer knees. Okay? But there's a way, because of the nature, at the fundamental level, the loss is such that I can engage it where it's not painful. Okay? Or it is not something that is deliberating. Deliberate. Oh boy. Deliberate. Deliberate. Never mind. Sometimes they just don't want to come out. I'm not going to force them. Okay. Deliberating. Deliberate. The, uh, yeah, it's somewhere. It's stuck. It's not coming out. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Uh, Now, relative and ultimate, okay? And we'll keep bringing them back. Now, there are certain experiences, like I lost my mother, for example, right? There's a way of engaging that where I'm experiencing pain most of the time. But there's a way of engaging that loss or the things connected to where I'm saying loss, where I'm not in pain all the time. Okay? It doesn't mean that I don't care anymore. She's no longer around. But there's a way of engaging that absence where it's not something that is debilitating. Did I say it? I don't know if I said it. I'm trying.
Debilitating.
Yeah, there's a nature, the fundamental nature of me speaking is such that I can one day say that word. Okay. Maybe not tonight, but one day. Okay, yes. How are we supposed to, basically, how do we appease that part of us that feels that something in those words that we heard, everything is fundamentally blissful, everything is already complete, those kinds of nice words, okay? So it is telling us there's a way that we are engaging with our experience that is participating in how we are experiencing it. There's a way that we are participating with whatever is going on, with the elements of the experience that is coming together to create the experience. Okay? I lost my mother. She's absent, she's absent, she's absent, she's absent. I wish she was here, I wish she was here, I wish she was here. And that's painful. Oh, my mother was so wonderful. I love the way she took care of me. If I focus on that, then I'm so grateful to have had this person as my mother. Then it's no longer a painful thing. It's something that inspires me to move. It's something that helps me to actually go out and share this joy. Okay. Now, does that suddenly make her appear again? Okay. So there are certain things, how would I say that? In our experience of our reality, we experience, I can do this much. And 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 uh, and also for the most part, for now, I cannot do this. And there are some people like the Buddha who didn't have to miss his mother at all. You could just know, oh, where's my mother? Okay, my mother is in heaven of the 33. Let me go visit her. That is for me right now impossible. Okay. So am I going to be in misery until I'm able to do that? No. Because if indeed there will be a time for me, possibility for me to actually do that, I don't think holding on to the misery that I'm not able to do that is going to actually help me. Because the misery is going to affect my capacity to do things. Okay. So things are fundamentally blissful is asking us, in a way, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Because fundamentally, what's the appearance of the experience is just one level that you can experience it. Okay. You can engage it in different ways where the experience is different. And it doesn't mean, since everything is fundamentally blissful, you don't have to do anything. That's not what it is saying. That's where, in trying to understand it, we might wrongly come up with, well, my best friend is in the hospital. That she is in the hospital is a blissful thing. That's not what it is saying. It is not saying there's something wrong with you for being sad that your friend is sick in the hospital. And somehow you can enter into some sort of dimension of reality where you will see your friend in bliss with the tubes coming stuck into a nose. Oh, that's the real reality. The one where she's suffering is a fake reality. Okay? Reality is reality. There is no real reality and a fake reality per se. And we're trying to leave the fake reality to get to the real reality. Okay? Don't get caught up in that. That's you will just go around in circles and never get anywhere. Okay? It's the experience that we have right here, right now. That's the reality. What is the nature of it? That's what we want to get to, so we can engage it, so we can engage the reality. Okay? The ultimate is not saying, there's a way that it is that you should be experiencing it, and that's not what you and the way you're experiencing it right now is wrong. what the ultimate is saying, there's something about the nature of this is such that we can engage it with hope. Okay. So there's this much I can do, and there's this much I would like to do, but right now I can't, and I have to accept that. And also to to have this constant sense of hope that the condition can change. Okay. And the condition can change doesn't necessarily mean my mother suddenly becomes alive again. But my perspective of how I am dealing with it can change. Okay. Where I accept that she's not here, but that acceptance is not a cause for me to be depressed for the rest of my life. Okay. But in a way, I can engage with her absence in such a way that I compel to honor her. I can engage the loss of a lover in such a way that I feel honored that my heart was open in such a way that I felt love. Okay. Yeah, the person is not there anymore, but my heart had such an experience that I'm very happy to have had that experience. Okay. There is trouble going on right now. That's the reality. But I can engage it in such a way that I don't have to have problems. Problems in relationships, problem with society, problem with the world. Their nature is such that I can engage them and have an experience of them where I'm closer to what we might call the blissful. Okay. And let me throw this out, just in case it was on the table. I'm going to kick it out. I'm going to kick it out. I'm not going to, shove it with my hand. I'm going to kick it. Okay. I'm going to put my foot on that table and then kick it to show you how it shouldn't be there. Okay. It is not that I'm having fights with my lover every day. That's actually a blissful experience. Or uh, I'm going through a difficult divorce. The difficult divorce is actually a blissful experience. Okay, that is not what it's supposed to mean. So if that was on the table, I am using my foot to kick it off the table. Okay, to show you how it should be disrespected. That kind of idea. Okay. So I'll repeat again. What was I really pointing to when I said there's this much I can do, and then there's this much I cannot do. Okay. It is being realistic with what your actual experience is, and also to let us and what the actual experience is. I really don't know everything. I really don't know everything. I have to admit that. That is something to admit. I don't know everything. And when we are engaging with something where we are only experiencing and we are convinced only misery only misery is what can be experienced, can be the experience with this, we are in a way making an absolute statement. I have surveyed everything that exists in existence, and I've come to the final conclusion the nature of this is misery. So therefore, I must engage it with that's what it is. This is miserable forever. The thing is, we don't know. Perhaps what we, and this is a perhaps, okay? And this is a way for us to deal with reality so we don't become, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna make the attempt. So reality doesn't become something that overwhelms us with dysfunction, okay? And because there are possibilities. This experience right here, right now, which is painful, could actually later on be, wow, I'm glad this experience happened. Okay. I wish my uh, I wish my niece lived here with me, and I'm so miserable that she's not living here with me. And of course, that's my experience. And then because of where she is, she found something that's made her life incredibly wonderful. Right? The thing is, I don't I don't know everything. Yes, there is the wish for her to be here, but I don't really know if that's what would actually be the best thing for her. I don't know. And I have to admit it. And open my mind to the possibility that where she is right now could be the best thing for her, where she will encounter opportunities that if she was here with me, she probably would never encounter. Okay? That's a possibility. Maybe it's not a possibility at all. But the thing is, I don't know. So interestingly enough, coming to an understanding that fundamentally the nature of reality is bliss, give you a sense of, I know everything. The fundamental nature of reality is bliss. That's everything. Everything is covered. Now I know everything now. But is what it's actually telling us is, hey, you don't know everything. Okay? You don't know everything. This very painful experience could be the very seed that will ripen into something wonderful. It doesn't mean that wait to see if it's going to become something wonderful. Continue to engage it. That's your reality. But continue to engage it in such a way with hope that it might be able to change. Okay. So these are the kind of ways you could say to start to think about that the fundamental nature of reality is bliss in such a way that when you are in your painful experience, when you're when samsara is being samsaric, that there are suffering experiences, that we don't fully buy into it as though somehow we are enlightened, and what we are this suffering that we are experiencing is the absolute fundamental nature of this. That is not it. Okay. uh, and now some lastly, just some words just because they sound pretty. Okay. uh, when we allow ourselves to engage an experience without uh, uh, without forcing our stories on it, then we begin to have direct experiences of the different dimensions of what seems to be this experience. And this very encountering with the different dimensions of this experience, what is being revealed is that at the basic level, what we are engaging, what we are actually witnessing is just pure potential. When there is a direct knowing of this being pure potential, the mind, the mind that is able, that is having this experience, having this encounter, has a feeling tone of bliss. So it's like fun, pure potential is simultaneous in having a direct knowing of pure potential, has with it a simultaneous experience of bliss. Because we can't really extract the experience of bliss from the encountering the pure potential. We can also say, fundamentally, it is bliss. Okay? And very last thing, and you might get completely confused by this one. Sorry, I'm apologizing beforehand. And when I was talking about something that you are allowing yourself to really see what it is, what is there, I wasn't talking about a nice experience. I'm talking about any experience. That means, and this is going to get confusing. I'm telling you right here, right now, okay? Because it might seem to throw us back to the beginning. I'm warning you, but that is not the purpose of it. But that is a way of going deeper. Okay, I warned you, and if you come to that, it's not my fault. Okay. My niece is not here. I would love for my niece to be here. The absence of her not being here is painful. That's the experience. That's my reality. If I allow myself to just stay with it, this pain of her not being here, and I will begin to have a direct experience of the different dimensions of this very pain of her not being here. Eventually, I will arrive at, okay, this is going to get confusing. I will arrive at, this is pure potential. And the mind that is able to have this direct experience will be in bliss. Okay. So this is more of a meditative experience. It's not that in your everyday life that you carry on I'm so in bliss, my niece is not with me. But in the meditation of allowing myself to look at that reality of her being in of her not being here, the pain of her not being here, wanting her to be here. In the meditation, I will unravel the nature of this reality of the pain. And what will I arrive at? I will arrive at pure potential. And my mind, upon encountering this, will be in bliss. So I can relatively say the fundamentally, my niece not being here, the pain of my niece not being here is fundamentally blissful. Okay. But as I'm carrying on my daily life, I feel the pain, and it's not something that making me dysfunctional, not being able to deal with reality correctly. And the pain that I feel is no longer just pointing to absence, but rather pointing to, I really appreciate her. So the pain is no longer something I want to, oh, please take that away, but rather, this is telling me that how much I appreciate her. This is telling me how much I appreciate the relationship I had with so and so. Okay. All right. Well, now time for you to grill me. Before we go into grill me, we were supposed to go into different rooms and have a sort of like room discussions with one another. Have we discovered how to do that? Okay, so we will not do that, but rather we will simply
I'll make a note for next time.
Okay. We just open the floor for questions if there are any questions. And I am engaging the pure potential of my knees being able to no longer experience pain. Oh my goodness. Pain is not the nature of my knees. Okay. Any questions? Did you feel that, oh my goodness, I thought this was who this was, but I wasn't sure. My goodness, this is Triple. Wow. Thank you for coming here, Triple.
Good to see you, old friend.
Good to see you. Well, since you're not talking, I'm going to talk before we do the last meditation. Okay. It won't take too long. And this is sort of like, okay, how do I take this with me? It seems like that's what I've been talking about, right? Yes, I was talking about that. If there is, somebody was asking, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I do have a question, actually.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
I guess there's something around different classifications of phenomena, like, for example, the knees and pain.
Mm-hmm.
The fundamental nature of the knees is not pain. Mm-hmm. But is the fundamental nature of pain pain? Is that a dumb question?
No, that's not a dumb question at all.
Uh-huh.
Is the fundamental nature of pain pain? Right? That's the question?
Yeah, like, is the fundamental nature of suffering, or, yeah, sort of like the circumstances versus the emotional, I don't know if you understand.
Yeah. You could say the lived reality of pain is pain. But what makes it for certain circumstances to come together to have the experience of pain is fundamentally openness, potential, and bliss. and this is going to sound weird, because the fundamental nature of things is bliss and pure potential, that's why we can have suffering. And the bliss here, remember, that's when the kind of mind that can directly engage pure potential is always a blissful mind. That is, it's a mind that is free of all those all the things that we make up. Okay, when it's free of all those things, the felt experience of it, the only experience that we have that can sort of come close to explaining it is bliss. So that's what we call it, referring to bliss. So bliss is not necessarily a reward, something that you're given. Oh, good job. Okay, here's a little bliss for you. Okay. A little bit more time.
May I add something to that?
Oh, please, Chappelle. Thank you.
Maybe it would help to address that, to think in terms of nature, potential, and experience.
Mm-hmm.
When we experience suffering, we're talking about experience, but we're never talking about the potential of the suffering itself. We're not talking about the nature of the suffering itself.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about experience, we're talking about looking internally. When we're talking about potential, we're speculating. So we're looking externally.
Mm-hmm.
Everything related to bliss, from my understanding, is going beyond both looking externally and looking internally. And it's not experienced. It's not that the suffering is not experienced anymore. The suffering is experienced, but that suffering that's experienced does not have the nature of that matches the experience you had. And that indicates more and more qualities of mind to address. So maybe separating into those three aspects of potential, nature, and experience, as far as where bliss might fit into one, but it's okay to have the others not matching at this time. Maybe that would be helpful.
Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you. That was nice. Okay. The kind of warning that I wanted to give is from my own experience, in the sense of we are sincerely trying to make an effort to really understand this, right? And in what seems to be a sincere wanting to understanding it is really we have an expectation of what we want to experience. And the expectation is like something out of this world, something never, not connected to anything that I've experienced before, will sort of suddenly happen. And we keep expecting that. And because the mind is sort of holding on to this expectation, it is no longer engaging the very thing, the very reality that has the nature, that has the potential, the very experience. The mind is sort of like escaping when it is trying to understand it with expectation, with the hope that something big will happen. Then there will be an understanding of this. Okay. And with that kind of mind, there's a lot of rejecting. There are a lot of, there's direct experiences that we reject because it's not some big thing. Okay. So the nature of reality that we're supposed to encounter, it's the very phrase we just said, the nature of what? Of what you are experiencing as reality. It's not something else. So we have to keep remembering. And when we keep remembering that, then we don't experience the escaping happening too much. Okay. And the expectation for some big thing to happen, it will slow down, will eventually go away, and that, for a lot of us, that's really the obstacle standing in our way. Okay. Yeah, something big will happen, but don't expect it. Okay. All right, let's do the closing meditation. Okay. So the same meditation that we've been doing before. So as well as you can, just remember the felt experience of being in meditation and just hold on to that memory. And as you hold on to that memory, you begin to sort of have a sense of re-experiencing it. Go to the sense of re-experiencing it. And as you have some palpable sense of being in that experience, stabilize it with a nice deep breath in through the nose, out the mouth. And as you release the breath, let go deeper into that experience just by staying aware of it. And there's some palpable sense of being in a degree, a certain depth. Stay with that. And immediately have a sense of your body sitting. There's a sense of a unit, a whole. It is comprised of parts: left hand, left foot, right foot, torso. And yet we say, me, one thing. That's what that one thing is, and that's what those parts are. Not ultimately, but right here, right now. And because this is me, this is a whole, when the right hand needs help, the left hand is ready to help. And the left hand is not thinking, oh, I'm going to help the right hand. The left hand is thinking, I'm helping myself. Go into that felt sense of each part of you ready to help any other part with a sense of, I'm helping myself. Now see all of us sitting in a circle. And in the same sense, there's a sense of a whole, of a oneness called us. Think of that. And as we feel that sense of us, let it have a appearance as a bright presence in the very center of our circle. And the more we sense us, the same way we look at all the different parts, we say, my body, me, me, me. So have the sense of us. And the stronger it gets, the brighter that ball of light, of presence in the center of our circle becomes. And the same way, the right hand will immediately run to help the left hand with saying me, helping me. So we feel like a sense of one readiness to help each other and thinking that I'm helping me, I'm helping us. And the light in the presence become brighter and brighter, and it expands wider and wider. And all of us are absorbed into this light presence. And it continues to expand. And as it continues to expand, whatever it absorbs, we think of it as us, your home with everyone living in it. Every person you know who's close to you, family, friends, they are absorbed immediately. It's us. It continues to expand, continues to go brighter until your entire neighborhood is covered, absorbed into this, and it continues. Let it go to whatever limit you feel comfortable with. The entire earth, the entire solar system, all three realms, whatever feels real for you. And keep thinking us and that readiness to help, and it's helping me. Readiness to help the ocean, readiness to help the grass, to help the land, to help the sky, me. Readiness to help your neighbor, me. And just stay with that sense. And keeping that sense, it's all me. The river needs help. Helping the river is helping me. The ocean needs help. Helping the ocean is helping me. And with that sense being sort of stabilized in us, the outer appearance of that presence begins to shrink. But as it shrinks, it sort of leaves like parts of it, as like everything is sort of smeared with light. Like if everything was under the ocean, and as everybody leaves the ocean, they are wet. So until again, it becomes just this bright presence in our very center. And we feel connected to that center, where in helping this sense of me, we are helping all of us. In helping all of us, we are also helping the me here. And with this sense being solidified, this bright presence becomes rays of light dissolving into each one of us. And in each one of us, we feel us is in me and me is in us. So whatever understanding you may have received, give thanks to your innate or means potential for having made its understanding possible. Whatever merits you may have gained, think of something that sincerely concerns you and dedicate it to address that concern. Gyawadi Kyogun Sunam Yeshil Zogzo Shin Sunam Yeshil Lejowen Damba Kunye Toba Shu. Again, be aware of just the space of being in meditation, noticing the obvious signs, rejoice. Make the intention to arise from the meditation, and with that, take a nice deep breath that you feel and hear through the nose. Breathe in, through the mouth, breathe out. And deliberately, consciously reconnect with your immediate surroundings through your sense of touch, sense of hearing, sense of sight. All right. Yeah, it's time, past time. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. And I'll see you again probably in 2 weeks. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chappelle. How you been, man?
Bliss, of course, all bliss. Just not through experience.
Liar.
He's here.
I'm always here.
You were absorbed in pure potential, right? That's why we couldn't see you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the question, this whole thing is like, how to address teachings that fall into, when you talk about basis path results. We talk about basis path results when people are struggling to find basis, have no concept of path.
Yeah.
They hear teachings from the result and they think, I have to do something with it. And it's not, a lot of those teachings are expressed in the context of leaving doing aside. When you're ready to leave, they're experienced through non-meditation, through non-practice, through non-experience.
Mm-hmm.
Garab Dorje. I don't know if you know the history of Garab Dorje. Do you know? So then the Nyingma tradition considers their founder to be Kuntuzangpa, Samantabhadra. Yeah. And then that was as the Dharmakaya essence of Buddhahood itself, which was then followed in lineage by Vajrasattva, which was then followed by Garab Dorje, which is the essence of Nirmanakaya. So his speech may not have been to first come, first serve. I mean, I don't think he spoke to many people at all. I think he only spoke to people who were looking for the final liberating instructions.
Yeah.
And they would never go back and contemplate or study again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it comes up that people read things and they're like, what do I do with this? Can it work? Is it true? Should I stop what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it sounds so beautiful, so enticing that you feel compelled. You have to do something with it, but you don't have the basis to put it into immediate application
or to conceive the result.
Yeah.
I mean, the bliss of Buddhahood is nothing like better life.
Yeah. This is Chappelle, everybody.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
I can't see who else is on this. I only can see one screen at a time.
Is that what we would call spiritual bypassing?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Going to the end without taking the journey.
Yeah. I think it comes out of a kind of a desperation. Yeah, but it's you're so focused on the desperation that you're missing. This is how you actually get out of your situation. Yeah. I so want to be free or to be blissful that I'm not actually applying the things that will actually help me get there. Yeah. Not
I
putting
mean, more difficult than that, more on a more moment-to-moment basis, is that because we have this conception that this should be so different, when our experience seems to be the same, we missed that one and that one, all the way to death.
Yeah.
And then bliss has to be something that comes suddenly all at once and counting on desperate moves.
Yeah.
It's not a good solid basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's kind of a almost I don't want to say instinctual, but that's the word I can come up right now, where even with that kind of understanding, it doesn't suddenly go away, that sort of grasping, where it should be something sudden that's blows my mind.
Yeah.
It should be that. And it's because I'm so desperate.
Yeah. I mean, if something, it might be enough to blow your mind if the experience that you're using for practice, you have a thought that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That might be close.
Mm. Is that a tanka behind you?
Oh, it's a background one.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was gonna compliment you on your nice tanka you got in your.
Let's see. Do I have, what is that? Let me see if I can turn this off. I have a actual tanka behind me. That's a tanka.
Oh, okay. Mr. Ryan.
Yeah.
Where are you? You have to
where am I? I'm in the cesspool.
Wait a minute. Are you realizing this, or are you thinking?
This is the reality. I'm in the while I seem to have I can just ask whatever I want, seems like today, I mean, this time and a week before, you mentioned suffering as something, you gave a very different idea about it. Like this time you're saying it's anything that's different than what you want it to be. That's what you said today, right? If like
no, it's no, you have to say it's an experience that you have. While you're having it, you're not wanting it. And that's
right.
my general way of sort of defining suffering.
Right. But you also said last week that you can have this situation like the bombs are falling, but you're not experiencing suffering.
Yep.
So how can you have the bombs falling and you're also gonna think that this is not an experience that you don't want? Like, of course, if bombs are falling on you, you're gonna think this is an experience you don't want. So how can you have, as you were using suffering last week, experiencing bombs without suffering?
Oh, that's a good one. That's cornering me right there nicely. Thank you very much for cornering me that way.
I corner you more. I got more cornering I can do.
Yeah. Let me see if I can squirm myself out of that corner. Can somebody help me?
That's how I feel. Please. I say that like 10 times a day.
So the bombs are falling. And could it be that you are simultaneously having a sense of, I don't want this?
Yeah, that would almost be definite.
Right? Or I'll say this way.
You mean could you have an experience of you're not saying I don't want this?
Yeah. So that would be, could it be that you are in this place where bombs are falling, but you're not focused on, I don't want this?
Yeah,
bombs falling, but you're not focused on that desire, I don't want this. Is it possible for that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, you could be, as you were sort of saying, it seems like a big point from today was saying like you're focusing on like, all right, what can I do? Like the situation is open, and you know, the attitude of facing the like facing the situation and seeing what you can do to make it better. Okay. I don't the exact wording is gone away, but I good thing Nizam has escaped this. I'll watch it again.
Now, it doesn't mean that because you're having an experience and at the same time there's the wish, I don't want it, because you have the wish, I don't want, there's something wrong with you. Of course, bombs falling on you, you should have the wish, I don't want this. It is suffering. That's why you don't want it. It's not that somehow bombs are falling on you and you're saying, oh, bliss, 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 bliss. I'm experiencing bliss. If you were indeed experiencing bliss, 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 you will still be running. A crude way of trying to explain this would be you're playing with water balloons. I don't know, for some reason that's what comes to my mind. Okay, sorry. You're playing with water balloons, right? They're not real bombs. They're balloons filled with water, right? Water balloons. And we have I have a basket. You have a basket, and we throw them at each other. It's a game, right? The aim of the game is still don't let them hit you.
Right.
And you're not gonna just sit there and say, when the water bomb hits you and then you get wet, you're gonna say, oh, this is I won the game.
Correct.
But as you are not trying not to get hit by the water balloons, you're enjoying yourself, but you're still trying not to get hit by the water balloon, because getting hit by the water balloon is something you don't want.
Right. Yeah.
Take water balloon, make it real bombs. You have an understanding of the fun of somehow you're connected with blissful nature of things. Bombs are still bombs that do what bombs do. And usually normally you would not like the bombs to do to you what bombs normally do.
Right. Although now that sounds like what we started with, I don't know how many weeks ago, where it's like, okay, they're there, you're here, but you're still, you're feeling great.
And that's the people at a far distance. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying the bombs are still falling and yeah, you're good, or as you were saying, your niece is wherever and you wish they were with you, but you're still good. So I don't know, when I first talked with you about it, you said it's not like that. It's not like they're there and you're here, and even though this is separation, yeah, you're still feeling great.
Feeling great? Okay. Right. So
Big guys.
I love that you guys stayed and we're having this little get together. So Ryan, we
May I
have to.
drop the poison drop that feeling great is probably closer to suffering than bliss.
Mhm.
Thanks
You
for that.
dropped the bomb. That's a bomb you just dropped.
That's the
right
bomb
there.
right there. The bomb was just dropped.
This was a. I'm gonna listen to this one again and again. So yeah,
Okay.
So thank you.
We'll talk. All right. Good night, everyone. Good to see you.
Love you. Thank you.